Welcome to the Miller Family Farm Trust channel, and today we're going to be installing a 100-gallon reserve fuel tank in the back of my brand new 2022 Dodge 3500. As you know, there's fuel shortages being threatened for diesel fuel. That is, that there will be none. And I can't believe our government's saying that. Do something. But anyways, so, prices are just going through the roof on diesel. You know, here we are June 15th, and I think it is almost $6 a gallon here in St. Petersburg, Florida. There's no end in sight. AAA said that expect severe increases for summer travel. So, with that said, I bought a 100-gallon fuel tank, transfer tank, and I'm bolting it in the back of my brand new 2022 Dodge 3500 here in just a minute, so let's go take a look. Okay, well there's my brand new 2022 Dodge 3500 four-wheel drive Cummins diesel high output truck. I love that thing, by the way. I'm going to do another video and do a walk around and let you know I got almost 2,000 miles on it, so we'll do a video. Stay tuned. Obviously, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned, and we'll be putting that video up, what my thoughts are, what I would tell you not to do if you're buying a new truck right now. And anyways, we'll do a what you should do and what you shouldn't do video on this truck on the next video. So there's our fuel tank. Yes, I already unboxed it, but I didn't get too far. But I really wanted a quality fuel tank, so better built truck toolboxes. The name says it all, better built. So I got those at Lowe's. They had two of them, and I bought both of them, and they were sold out. I think that Lowe's is asking $458 if you buy it on the internet per tank. I did order volume 10 of those, so I could sell them cheaper than you can buy them for. So if you're interested in buying one of these tanks, not like I'm in the business, but I know other people need to do what I'm doing, and you better do it now. So I'll have 10 of those. They are on order, should be in just like 7 to 10 days, they said. So I'm going to give a couple to my son to fill up for me for my tractor and other things for the farm, just so we have it available. And I'll have a few available just for people that are here on the Miller Family Farm Trust channel if they're interested in buying that. So a couple things about these. They're not aluminum, they are steel fuel tanks, which I really prefer. But if you're in, different areas of the country, then you could be dealing with rust. So one of the things that I definitely already did, but am doing, is applying a good ceramic coat. I'll put a link for this down below, but this is probably the easiest applying ceramic coat that there is. If you follow the directions, and they tell you to put 3 different coats in between water sprays and that type of thing, but it's really simple. It takes about an hour. This one is drying right now, so when it's dry, we're going to be installing that puppy, and it has baffles in it, which is really unusual, and getting a 100-gallon fuel tank for that price is, really pretty good. So it's really simple installing these. Right there, as you can see, there's 4 holes on each side of this tank, and you want to figure out where you want to place that, but obviously it's at the front of the bed. But I'm going to flip this one around because my fuel tank's right there. So think about where you want to put your pump, and that's where the pump goes. And so you have to buy a decent pump. I wouldn't be buying a hand pump or anything like that. So maybe I'll put a link down below of the pump I bought. Fill-Rite, they're hard to find right now because everybody's buying them and doing the same thing I'm doing right now. But I got a 15-gallon per minute Fill-Rite because I'm only filling tractors and Bobcats and, the 2022 Dodge 3500, so 15 gallons a minute's fine. So going back to this, I'm going to put that red fill over here, which means that my little welded rings are going to be on the back side, which I don't like so much, but it's more important for me to have my my pump right here so I could fill my tank right there. So we're going to be sliding this into place. We're going to be measuring both sides with a tape measure. Measure like 10 times. Then a chalk pen that we're going to be marking the holes with. So we could slide the tank back out. And then once we know where the holes are going, and measure twice, drill once. But once we know where the holes are going, then we're going to climb underneath this bad boy and take our tape measure, measure each one of these little dimples, measure into wherever our holes are at, and make sure there's no brake lines or electrical lines or fuel lines or a fuel tank or anything else that you could drill through. That is probably the most important thing on this job. It's not difficult because once you have your placement and you marked it with your yellow pen, you're just going to measure off the back, off the side, and then crawl underneath, and you're going to do it again. Measure off the back and off the side underneath to make sure there's nothing in the way before you start drilling. Okay, as you can see, I just opened the package, but there's washers already rusting, and that's what I mean. It may seem a little anal to ceramic coat your parts, but it's already rusting. So if you just want rust to, you know how rust goes. Once it starts, it goes everywhere. But so I'm going to ceramic coat these really quick. And that is, we're just going to spray them down ceramic coat, wipe them off immediately. I'm only doing one coat. I'm not going to do the 3 coats like it said on other painted surfaces. So I'm just going to do 1 coat, wipe it down, let them dry, and then install them.
Showers are good.
Ian, how you doing?
Just having a blast here.
What the hell are we doing today?
Well, we got done anchoring the tank
Oh, we didn't go through the floor.
to the pallet
Well, tell us why did you do that?
because you want to be able to remove this with a forklift if you have a bunch of fuel in it.
So you don't have to haul around 1,000 pounds of fuel. Makes sense to me. So what? We just got a plastic pallet for $10 from a local pallet place. And then we used the same mounting hardware that came with the tank to just drill through the pallet.
Yes, and this one was made for you. It had your name on it.
And yes, it says Miller on the pallet, so they special made that for me. Okay, so, and then we just strapped it in. And make sure your strap's heavy enough for 1,000 pounds, so it'd be what, like 3,000?
Yeah, you always want a little bit more than not enough.
Yeah.
So the kit comes with a collapsible tube and it has this extension. So
That looks like this?
Yes, it looks like this right here. So we mounted that to the pump, and it's actually in the tank now. So the pump onto the tank. So now we are going to get this guy in place. Make sure you use thread tape.
The only problem is that the pallet raised it about 5 or 6 inches, so it was already a little bit above the side of the bed, like 6 inches, but now it's another 6 inches above that.
Bring a pipe wrench, so I hope this works well. And then we are going to do 2 filter mounts, so we have a water separator and a filter.
But today we're just doing 1, right?
Yeah. So, and it's got a nice in and out label.
Ooh, look at that. That's pretty slick. That's protected and doing well.
Say hi, Uncle Anthony. Wait, hi, Uncle Anthony. No, you're too busy. Robert.
Maybe it'll go like this. May have to clock it. We'll see here in a minute. You'll know when we're done.
There you go.
Okay, so we've got the filter mount mounted on, thread tape to both sides, of course. We mounted the hose as well with thread tape.
And we recommend a swivel for that little bad boy, but the kit,
awesome.
This Fill-Rite 15 gallon per minute kit did not come with that. Then these, Ian, you say are pretty expensive for the swivels?
Don't get me lying, I thought they were about 100.
Yeah, I thought it was something like that too, but yeah, okay. And we have a manual fill instead of an automatic fill, but if you're going to get an automatic, I think the handle's like another $100.
So we mounted, this comes in all in pieces, so we mounted the piece here for the
protection so water doesn't run down your...
Right, so that actually
nozzle.
is the mount for the nozzle too, because it's got the hook right there.
Oh, yeah.
And that just bolts on with the bolt that comes with the kit. So real easy. This is a real simple setup. And then this right here is where you can actually padlock your filler
And
to
with
where
gas
nobody can
prices like that over there, you want to make sure you put a padlock on that right there.
especially if you got 100 gallons of fuel in here. So,
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a lot, but you know, it's $6 a gallon. That's $600 worth of fuel that someone would like to have. All right,
Now
so
we're going to do the electrical.
the electrical is right there. So we got a ground. I don't know where that goes, but Ian's really good at electric. And then we just have a red and a black.
And we're just going to keep it simple. We're just going to run a positive, negative, have this, you know, basically tucked in, and then we're going to run some gator clips so when you need the fuel, you pop the hood.
And what's the rationality with that, Ian? Why are we doing it that way instead of doing a direct mount, drilling through the floor and all that?
Keeping it simple, you can pull the tank out and you can run this on anything you need
You
to.
could pull the tank
in
out.
an emergency
Yeah.
situation or whatever.
Yeah.
You can always gator clip it to a battery and
Yeah.
get your fuel sucked
The big
out.
thing is that we put this on a pallet so we can remove the tank, and if you're hardwired into your truck,
done.
that spool of wire he's got right there is already underneath your truck. So we're going to leave it spooled up, and we're going to put some battery clamps on that. So we just run it up front here, pop the hood, and put it on the battery when we need fuel. Or you can just have an extra battery if you want back here, to travel with it. Okay, be right back. Well, here we are doing a summary review of installing our 100-gallon better built tank with a Fill-Rite 15-gallon per minute pump. So we installed that on our new 2022 Dodge 3500 Cummins diesel. And if you subscribe now, we'll be doing a walk-around review. We got about 2,500 miles on this truck. So we'll be doing a walk-around review, let you know what we love about it and what we don't love about it, and whether you should even buy one. Most of our followers know that we bought a 2019 F-250 diesel Lariat, and we sold that and replaced it with this. So if you subscribe now, stay tuned. We'll tell you why we did that. So let's take a look at the install and the choices we made, and I'll explain why we did what we did. Is we put this on a plastic pallet, and the reason is that we don't know how we're going to be using this tank. So obviously we have tractors and equipment, and we want to be able to forklift this tank on and off and leave it on job sites and that type of thing. So that was a reason we chose not to bolt it to the floor and make it a permanent fixture in a truck. The problem with that is that we have to secure it somehow. And I think it's 8 pounds per gallon for diesel fuel. That's how much it weighs. So 100 pounds plus the 150 pounds for the tank and 50 pounds for the pump makes it about 1,000 pounds. So when you hit brakes with 1,000 pounds that's not bolted to the frame, you better be sure that you have it secure. Obviously, truckers do it all the time, or they load equipment and they strap it down, which is safe and secure, but you got to make sure your tensile strength for braking and all that supports the weight that you have that is in movement if you choose to hit the brakes. So that baby's got to stay in the back of this truck. Now I know diesel fuel is not hugely flammable, but you still have a container flying across the a intersection if you happen to get in an accident or get hit by someone. So that baby's got to stay in the truck. So that is the big trade-off for putting it on a pallet. How do you secure it to the vehicle? So we're confident about our install for us. Obviously, you have to decide for yourself, but this is the way we decided to go, and we just used the same mounting kit that came with the tank to mount it to a plastic pallet. And when we picked up the pallet, the people that we got the pallet from said that the pallet was rated for 3,500 pounds. So it's a Miller and Coors pallet, so they must have been stacking beer on those. But so how do you find a plastic pallet like that? Well, just like we did. We went on to Facebook Marketplace, put in used pallets near me, and we came up with all those. I didn't want a wood pallet because, you know, it's a brand new truck and we just have this brand new spray liner in here. So we thought that a plastic pallet would be less abrasive against our brand new spray and liner. So that's the reason we went with that. You might go with a wood pallet, but that pallet was only $10. And even then, I think they would have taken 5, but they're asking 10. And they had stacks of them, and it was just nearly a perfect pallet for installing this tank directly on it. Okay, so moving along, these babies are getting hard to find. So that's a Fill-Rite kit, and I think we get these for like $480 or $490, but they're going up every day with hyperinflation, and so it's even went up since we bought this one. So I think $480 is the new price on these, but it's a complete kit. Comes with, you know, 12 gauge wire wiring to run it. If you choose to install it in your bed, that will run all the way underneath your frame, all the way forward up into your compartment. Either you can go directly to a battery or you can connect it to your auxiliary switches. And there is a 25 amp auxiliary switch. If you choose to do it the way we're doing it, they recommend putting a 25 amp inline fuse in it. So a couple things about this. This tank, we had to bend that U-hook, like you see the one on the other side over there, that U-hook over in order to spin the pump. So we bent that flat over. We did decide not to cut the weld off because we needed it for our strap. So we just bent it kind of flat over so we could spin our pump into the threads right there. And the kit also comes with a strainer or a filter system, and that's really pretty essential because this tank, you know, being out in the sun all the time is, you know, collecting condensation and the likes. And we may even put another nipple here and a water separator even after that, or maybe before it, I'm not sure yet. But and we already bought this extra unit up here that you could just put a nipple here, put another one of these right here, and have another filter right there. So our 12 gauge cable, 2-wire cable that comes with a kit is 18 foot long. And so that's long enough to be able to just go all the way up to the front, pop your hood, and use these clips that we bought. The link will be down below, but these are really great. They're copper clips and you know, have great strength. But so we'll be able to put this onto our battery and it runs back to the pump. And what I like about that, a couple reasons. One is people are stealing fuel already, and to not have a power source go to that pump off, but generally just make it more difficult for, you know, people that are not very scrupulous to steal your fuel. So when the power source is cut off, then, you know, that's the end of that. The other thing you can do is, if you look right here, electrical relays that go to your inside auxiliary switches. And I think it's auxiliary number 4 that has a 25 amp built-in fuse, which is what they recommend for running that pump. So it's pretty simple. All you do is, if you can see, let me get really close. There's a bunch of them in a row, but you see those little green clips that go in? They come out and you can slip your wires in there with a, you just crimp on a flat terminal connector, and you can wire it directly in there. So the reason that's important is if you're going for a permanent install of the tank, then obviously you go through the scutcheon that they have at the bottom of your bed. You run along the line, you come up through the firewall, and you go in to your 25 amp. And then you can turn the power off by auxiliary number 4. So how do you know which one's a 25 amp? It's easy. Look in your owner's manual for your vehicle. So if you got auxiliary switches inside whatever truck, this is a Dodge Cummins 2022 Ram. But if you have, a Ford or anything else, obviously check your owner's manual. And if they don't have it, just call your dealership and ask them. Say, which one has a 25 amp fuse, or what's the amperage for each of the auxiliaries. So we decided to go with the clips, so that mainly we could take, not just for security purposes, so that we could take that the whole tank out of the back with a forklift, and then this goes with it, and then we could connect it to whatever we're going to use for a power source on the job site. Okay, well, you guys, I just want to say that we are getting a deal on these tanks. We own a bunch of property across the country, and as part of that, we have a contractor price list or price agreement with Lowe's. These are currently selling for $498 plus tax, like $525 at the Lowe's website at the date of this recording. They're going up all the time. But if you like, we can order these on our account, have them delivered to your local Lowe's, and we will do it for $425. So, fuel is getting expensive. You could pay for one of these tanks in just a couple fill-ups of 100 gallons. And more importantly, fuel security, something our president's not currently doing, but have your own personal fuel security. That is, have extra fuel. They say there's going to be not just expensive fuel, but shortages coming up in mid to late summer. And when the President of the United States is saying that, I would believe him. He knows something we don't. So contact us if you want one of these tanks for $425. If they're in stock, and we had to wait about 4 weeks for this one to be delivered to us, but if they're in stock, we'll order it immediately and we'll keep you up to date. But you got to be patient. So if you're trying to beat the looming fuel shortage, then you should order it right away, because it could take weeks for you to get this. So it's not an immediate fix. You probably waited too long already, like we did. But, get it now if you're going to get it. Otherwise, you're going to have to ride the storm. So, and we also can get good deals on the Fill-Rites as well. The same exact setup you see here. If you want a 20 gallon per minute, I don't see why, because 15 gallons plenty. But if you want a 20 gallon per minute, I think it's an extra $200 or something like that. They go up pretty drastically when you go to 20 gallon per minute for some reason. So if it's 20 gallon per minute, then it would be like, let's see, this is $425 or something like that. Just figure a couple extra $100. If you email me, and you find our email in the description below, I will let you know the pricing at the time you decide that you want one, because everything is hyperinflating quickly. So if you want one, just email me and I'll see what we can do for you. I'll get you the best price I can, because we like taking care of our family here at the Miller Family Farm Channel Trust. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It helps a lot for us to be able to make these videos in detail for you. It takes hours on top of hours to order this stuff, to assemble it, to videotape it, to edit it, to upload it. So, you can help us by clicking like first and then subscribe. And then Miller Family Farm Trust channel will notify you in the future as we do new modifications. Our next video is going to be about this Dodge 3500 Cummins diesel 4x4 and what we love about it and what we don't like about it. So subscribe. You're going to love our channel if you love farming, everything outdoors, 4x4 trucks, tractors, farming, side-by-sides, you name it, anything outdoors, we do it here. And we love to join you to our family. But little warning, if you're just a troublemaker that just is negative, we don't like those on our channel. But if you're a contributor, you love to comment, you love to help other people on our channel, by all means, subscribe now. Do us a favor, do yourself a favor, and I'll just say, welcome to the family now.